All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm with Shikhant Sablania.
Yeah, Shikhant Sablania.
Sablania.
Yeah.
And Veerat.
Yes.
What's your last name, man?
It's just Veerat.
Just
No, it's Veerat Singh.
Veerat Singh. Okay, these guys are graphic illustrators.
Well, listen, okay, graphic designers and illustrators.
Yeah, we're
Mostly-
so graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are graphic.
Like we draw mostly, yeah. So
But shit, fuck.
And you guys do comic books.
yeah, we draw comics and we make our own independent comic books.
Yeah. So you guys completely make a comic book, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I'm more of a painter,
okay,
so I came from that. But
that means Veerat is more of a painter.
Yes, Veerat is more of a painter. I was more of a painter illustrator. I came into comics because of like friends and like they kind of showed me the medium.
Okay, let's start with Shikhant. Like, dude, how did you get into this?
I used to draw anyway, since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like any other Indian kid growing up, I studied science, of course, because I was good at it. I was good at studies. Oh, okay, बच्चा अच्छा पढ़ता है, साइंस में डला दो एडमिशन. तो मैं साइंस में चले गया और फिर साइंस में गए हो तुम, अब साइंस पढ़ रहे हो तो यार क्या बनोगे, डॉक्टर, इंजीनियर. तो मैंने इंजीनियरिंग पढ़ी थी और I was in Surat and I studied electrical engineering and I got into this college because of all those, you give those tests and you get into college and you plans and stuff. So there I was studying engineering, but then I realized that this is not my thing. I'm in the wrong place. So, okay, then I started painting, more than I used to go to classes. So I used to paint and I used to draw and I used to start making those small comics and stuff for college magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Those small strips which are there in the
Okay.
magazines and stuff. So I used to make that, and then in college itself, I decided that I should, pursue art, rather than engineering. So there's this artist in Surat. Okay, he was like a really old artist, and I saw one of his exhibitions, and I went and spoke to him. So he's a really nice guy. He was a very senior artist. So with him, I worked on a lot of projects, on painting murals and sculptures for the kind of sculptures that they put on the road in roundabouts and
Okay,
stuff.
okay.
So they have those huge installations there. So I used to work on that. So from there, I sort of got into art full time, and then I used to take up those freelance graphic design projects. I used to design most of the magazines and stuff, which we used to do as student organizations and colleges do. So I used to design the magazines, and from there I sort of got into art and this and that. So
What happened to engineering?
engineering, I sort of it's very interesting. I never really finished it. So
That
yeah,
is
so
an
I'm like-
interesting.
How interesting, yeah?
So, yeah. So in third year itself, I decided that I'll just paint and do whatever. So I used to do a lot of different things. I was experimenting with different media. So I used to do photography. We started a small club in Surat, photography club, and then I used to do I used to paint, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then than that, I did some small internship with Radio Mirchi in Surat. We had this small thing, and then I also did internship or sort of some work with Framebox animation in Surat itself. So I was like sort of experimenting with different fields, because plus when you're in college, right? So everybody's running around for a job, right? So everybody's like, yeah, placements are भाई तू क्या कर रहा है, तू टाई क्यों पहन के जा रहा है भाई, placements आ रहा है भाई, career बना ले. So everybody was doing that and saying that to me, but I was like, okay, I'll try my own stuff. It's okay if I fail.
Yeah.
So it was like that. So it's
Yeah.
sort of experimentation mode. Then for engineering, I didn't really finish it, and I sort of just dissed it. It's okay.
Sounds like a good story. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What about you, Veerat? How did you get started?
Well, I was basically shit at everything. And this was the one thing I was really good at. But seriously, I was really bad at academics.
Okay.
I mean, barely high school pass, not even. I haven't finished my 12th.
Wow.
Yeah. So the problem was I'm dyslexic.
Yeah, okay, great.
So
ADHD.
That's the first time anybody said.
Yeah, I've
great
got
to
ADHD, man.
dyslexia.
I was bad at academics too. I've got ADHD, and now I write books and do a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, look how that turned out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you can imagine, that does not fly over here. Like there's huge ignorance about
Yeah, man.
the
whole
disorder.
Yeah, man,
So a lot of my initial this thing was pretty crappy. My mother used to paint. Like,
Okay.
She used to do as a hobby on recreations of like masters.
I see. Okay.
Like we actually have Van Gogh's Starry Starry Night.
Wow.
My mother did a full impressionistic version of it. It's pretty rad.
Man, that's trippy, dude.
Yeah, she was pretty inspired.
And you get to
by it.
watch
And-
that every day, man.
Yeah, I get to watch that. I love
Yeah,
that.
like,
painting. It's
Well,
decorating the walls in our house.
my mother wrote books, man.
Yeah.
See,
That's it, man.
You get inspired from somewhere, right?
Yeah, well.
So yeah, I used to watch my mother paint a lot, and I used to really like to draw.
Okay.
Like initially, I got into anime pretty fast.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like
So you would draw manga?
no, I draw just random characters and make up bullshit stories about them.
That
But
is
I
it,
really
man.
used to like to draw, but initially, like there wasn't such a manga or an
Culture.
anime boom.
Yeah.
Like there was that I think that mid area
Yeah,
where
man.
they started bringing anime.
Do you remember that channel AXN or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
They
yeah.
used to show some anime on.
Yeah. Initial AXN used to
Yeah.
have a lot of cool anime.
Yeah. I got in before that. I started downloading anime from Napster somehow. And
Yeah, I found out about that very late in my life.
So-
I cursed myself for that. Like, oh my god.
yeah, damn it. 1 year earlier, I would
Yeah.
have gotten so many good stories in.
But yeah, like I remember like when I was like 6, and there used to be this one video rental shop called White Video. It's in.
Does it still exist?
I don't know if it still exists, but the market still exists.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of Fugia restaurant. It's near
I-
Bholakwan.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the marketplace was right there.
Yeah, they do weird cuisine, right? Fusion.
They do Indo Chinese, I think.
Yeah.
It's one of the best
I-
in Delhi.
I think I had some orange noodles or something like that. Like somewhere around
They do
there.
now. I think they've changed the cook, but like their old one was really epic. But yeah, like I remember getting Lensman from there, and it completely blew my mind. I was
Oh.
watching Lensman more than Star Wars. That was rad.
On a day where Shikhant is wearing the Empire Strikes Back
Yeah.
t-shirt. You guys are Star Wars fans, right?
I'm okay. I like
Yeah.
the older version.
You know when I
they were
used
more fun.
yeah, when I used to when I had technical issues with my audio, I would cut it there and I would put Boga Scream. You know, Obi-Wan Kenobi's horse kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I would put that there. And that-
Yeah. Very fun.
well, so guys, the eventual question is, how did you guys meet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's interesting.
Oh.
So yeah, I met him. I think a year back or so. right?
Yeah.
So I came back to Delhi. I was not like I was here after college. Then I went again out. I was traveling, and for a lot of months. Then I came back to Delhi, and that's another interesting thing I'll tell you about the whole thing. So when I was in Delhi, we had this.
Can I stop
Yeah.
you there? I
Yeah.
don't think I'm getting your mic. Let me try this again.
Yeah, so like I was telling you, around a year back, so what the thing was like with me, Sumit, and so, okay, let's go back a bit, okay? So, because that's how I'll connect everything. So, after finishing college, I was doing all that random stuff in Surat, right, like I told you. So I came to Delhi, and I didn't know anything about it because, you know, like when you finish college and you come back to home and you're like, okay, what should I do? You know, like you're in that confusion sort of a state.
So then I used to paint, like I used to stay, in my room and used to read a lot and used to paint a lot. Then I met Sumit and, like, because of course I used to meet him regularly, but, so he was like, okay, I'm working on this comics project, I'm trying to translate, like, sort of convert this Kushwant Singh book into a graphic novel sort of a thing. He was like, okay, will you help me out? I was like, okay, yeah, I'll help you with this. So I did the coloring and design and everything of the book.
By Sumit, you mean Sumit Kumar. He's
Yeah.
been on a podcast earlier.
Yeah. Sumit Kumar, yeah. So we sort of made a small pitch for it, but it's still in the pipeline. I don't know what happened to it.
What's it called?
The Kushwant, that book, Absolute Kushwant, that book.
Okay.
So, Kushwant Singh's book, Absolute Kushwant. So we sort of decided that we'll convert a few of those chapters into a comic book.
Comic book, right.
Yeah. So that's what.
That sounds cool, man.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because we both were like Kushwant Singh fans. So like, yeah, if we made
Yeah.
those T-shirts and stuff, we're like, fanboy and all
Yeah.
that. So yeah, so we sort of like.
How did that work out for you?
Not really. Nothing happened.
What did you do? Like snap photos of yourselves
Yeah.
and put it on Kushwant Singh's page and like,
Yeah.
absolute fans.
Yeah, little weird stuff. Yeah. So that's I started up with comics and this and that. So I also started making my own stuff. Parallelly, I used to paint and I used to take up these small graphic design projects, freelance work. And after that, what happened was that story of like around July and sort of thing. Then I got into mode of filmmaking. So I had this friend. He is from Calcutta. See, he was in the city and he wanted to make a film, and he had funds and all of that. So he was sort of making a film about the whole process of filmmaking, like how you actually write a script and then you do copies, and then what are basic like small issues which you face, when you're trying to make an independent film in this country. So he was making that film, and we were together and we were working on this film. So it's called Nothing Unusual. So we show that film in, Bring Your Own Film Festival in Orissa and other places. So yeah, that was an interesting piece of work which we did. So after finishing that film, okay, I got really pissed.
Why?
I was bored with the usual, because I used to go to all these galleries, like because I wanted to, I still want to exhibit more, and so I just wanted to understand the whole industry, how it is working. ये क्या ये गैलरी में जाके दिखाते हैं लोग जाते हैं तो वो सब करते हैं लोग तो वो क्या करते हैं वहाँ जाके ठीक है ना मतलब this is the basic thing. You start painting, you see, okay, fine, some people some people draw those beautiful Radha Kishan, Gautam Buddha, वो सब all that crappy things, and you see these guys who are doing random stuff, abstract and this and then, they go, wow, I'm just a position of blue and light is so nice, oh my god. So they're doing all of that, so I'm just like, what the fuck is this going on, right? So I used to go to these places and stuff. I used to see all those people who, with that red wine ka glass haath mein, they're talking about some random, sir, wow, your work is so great, my god. That's shitty work. Right, so, yeah. Then
At least he didn't name the person.
Just because you were giving me free wine, I should have say, wow, it's brilliant. Yeah, this and that. Like, people wearing nice clothes, like tip top, all of that. And so I used to meet all of these suits and all at those exhibitions in, big places. So yeah, I used to go all of that. I was like really tired of these people. Right? I was like, I want to go out. I want to understand what is going on. I want to understand the country. I want to like where I'm born. I want to understand my city. Like basic things, right?
Yeah.
So also, I came into this Jaipur Literature Festival, this and that. There'll be people like talking about shit, and they're like, okay, Dalit empowerment in the system, and then they'll go sit in their AC cars, and wow, so nice. And then there'll be people, talking about global warming in an air-conditioned room, So such hypocrisy, right?
And then there'll be the eventual Salman Rushdie debate.
Yeah, exactly. Those, so there'll be Dalai Lama. So all people like, oh, they have Dalai Lama. So all that was happening. So anyway, after that, I sort of decided, let's go out. So I packed my bag. I was like, I'll go. I don't know where. I'll just leave. I'll just go. So I sort of had the basic structure in mind that I'll travel the country. Okay. So it's like what? It was in February. February. I think 8th February was the date. So I didn't know much about traveling. I've just traveled with my family, and when I was a kid, and. But the good thing is that I've stayed in hostel, so staying in hostel teaches you a lot, right?
Yeah.
It teaches you how to, your basic needs are what to do when you do not have basic resources, all of that. So anyway, so I packed my bag. I borrowed this backpack from a friend of mine who used to hitchhike and stuff. So I got this bag and I got the stuff and all that. So I left. I started from, so basic idea was I'll start from the western coast, from the western states of our country, and go till Kanyakumari, and then towards the eastern side from Bihar and all that. So I went to Jaipur first. I was there, and from Gujarat, from Rajasthan, different places I stayed in different places. I stayed wherever I could with limited resources I had, and I did this cross-country trip sort of a thing. I used to hitchhike. I used to take lift from the truckwalas.
Wow.
Whatever I get, And the only rule was basic resources, basic necessities. And I used to travel mostly in the general compartment of the trains, right? Either that or lift. That's the only option. So
Fuck.
I used to stay in dharamshalas, I used to stay in temples and gurdwaras, whatnot. So, and also because I had a lot of friends in different parts of the country, so I used to stay with them whenever possible, and whenever not, I used to stay in dharamshalas or whatever place. So I went to different states. So I covered from Rajasthan, Gujarat, then Maharashtra, then Goa for some time, and then Kerala. From Kerala, I stayed for a long time. I also worked in a farm for a few weeks, just to learn how it's done.
What kind of farm?
So there's this friend of mine. I said that's an interesting thing. I met this. So this college senior of mine, he used to live in Pune. So I was staying at his place, and we were sort of, ऐसे ही घूम रहे थे. So his friend comes in. This senior of mine tells me that ये मेरा दोस्त है, ये इंडिया ट्रैवल कर रहा है. Like अरे हाँ बहुत बढ़िया है. मेरा दोस्त है केरला में. वो ना खेती करता है, तो तुम उससे जाके मिलना. I was like okay यार. और उसने MBA करी है, और MBA छोड़ के he's doing खेती. I was like wow, awesome.
Yeah.
So then I went to Kerala and I called this guy. Okay, so yeah, hi, I'm Shikhant, I'm here. I'm traveling. So he's like हाँ आ जाओ. So he came to the bus stop. He picked me up, and we went to his farm. So what they do is his father used to work in, I guess, United Nations or something. So they bought this huge area, I think a whole hill or something in Kerala, the Pathanamthitta district. Coencheri was the name of the town, this village. Coencheri वही गांव है जहाँ से Muthoot Finance भी वहीं से है. So that's famous for that. But so there they had this whole hill. So they used to grow these tropical flowers.
Okay.
Heliconia flowers.
Okay.
So they used to, send it to Bangalore and stuff for marriage. Those costly flowers which they beautify the background and all that. So we used to do that. So I did. That was pretty interesting. So we used to work the whole day, and in the evenings we used to smoke up and chill every day.
Sounds like a good trip.
Yeah, good trip.
Any wild trips for that?
My wild trips were mostly me making an ass of myself.
Sounds like good wild trips.
Yeah, for everyone else it was.
So, guys, when it comes to comics, is there a vision when you're making these? Is there a particular vision?
Okay, before I answer that question, I'm sorry, we lost track because you asked how I met Veerat. And
Yeah,
I couldn't
exactly,
finish that.
but yeah.
Sorry. So basically, so then
You
after
just
all
went
of
on
this
your
trip,
masturbation trip.
Yeah.
Whoa. You went further down the rabbit hole.
yeah.
Yeah, man, he went all the way down to South India
Yeah.
and did farming over there.
Wow.
And Virat was nowhere there.
Over there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but so yeah, after I came back from the trip, so it was I think June, July. So it was for I traveled for 4 months, 4.5 months, and then I came back, and so we had this plan, Sumit, me, and Adhiraj, that we'll start this comics group. So we'll sit and jam, we'll discuss comics, and we'll have this nice thing. So while I was traveling, so Adhiraj, messages me on Facebook. I was checking in, it's यार हमने ऐसे ग्रुप बनाया DCKS, तू वापस आएगा ना तो तेरे को सबसे मिलाऊंगा, बहुत बढ़िया ये वो. It's हाँ सही है मैं आता हूँ वापस, मजा आएगा. So I came back, and then we had this meeting. This friend of ours in Karol Bagh only we met, and that's where I met Veerat. No, I guess. So he was there, and all of other people like Bhanu, Anupam, and other guys, Akshat, and we all were there. So we were discussing. So that's where we met, and then
DCKS stands for Delhi Comic.
Samagam.
Delhi Comics Kala Samagam. So that's DCKS.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's a mouthful, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
DCKS is
that's
good.
why we just call ourselves dicks and we're done with it.
Yeah,
Delhi
man.
dicks.
Delhi Dicks. Yo. So. Yeah. So that's how it's all.
I'm
That's
never
all.
going to be a part of that.
Yeah, man. DCKS.
So, what do you guys do? What does DCKS do?
So DCKS is just like it's basically a Facebook page. It's like a group, okay? So the whole idea was to get all of these small comic creators who work independently together. So there's a platform where we can discuss things, we can criticize, we can help each other, in small things, right? Like when you are in an industry which is not really huge and you have to survive, right? So there are very small issues like how to get into it. Like there are a lot of people who draw and who write also, and they want to get into comics industry. So whom are they going to go and meet?
Yeah.
So when you have a platform, so people can interact and people can discuss stuff and learn from each other. Also getting out of your zones, because each artist, we sort of have this thing, right? We just get into our zone and we're just there. So it's really important to get out of that zone and meet other people and see what other people are doing. So that was the central idea. So it started with our sort of bunch of people, and then we met other people. So yeah, so sort of this like we sort of clicked, right? And we sort of thought, okay, yeah, let's collaborate, and do weird stuff. And then that's when we did that 24-hour comic session I was telling you about, right? So the fun is very simple. You just sit for 24 hours in a single place and you draw.
Yeah.
So the challenge is like to draw 22 pages in 24 hours. So that's how it is. It's done worldwide since like 1990s, I guess.
Yeah.
Scott McCloud started it. So
Yeah.
So in like it's not much.
I think it's DCK is more like it's a platform to dissect comics as an art form in India, because half of the people don't know how to get into comics here. They don't know what the aesthetics are of a comic. So it's for like people who have done a lot of it, who have faced like businesses and how they deal with it, all the logistics, and how they dissect it as an art form to give you critique and make you understand how comics
So it's
as
basically
medium
like a
works.
support group
Yeah, it is
for
somewhat.
comics, for guys who are drawing comics. Yeah.
Also to collaborate and to
Yeah.
engage into
Yeah.
discussions and criticize.
It's even for
all of
like
that, yeah.
beginners to come up with people who are veterans.
So you guys
doing
get
it.
a lot of beginners?
Yeah, malab,
Lot of big-
whenever, yeah, we do. Yeah, malab, not we guys. As in, we are also experimenting
Yeah,
with
we're
our art,
also
right?
I mean,
yeah,
DCKS. Like-
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, DCKS, yes. Because there are a lot of people who have just passed out of maybe Delhi School of Art and other places. They paint, but they want to get into this whole art of making comics and the structure wise and the panel and the storytelling. So yeah, we get to meet a lot of such people, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, you wanted to move the mic or something?
I don't know. Yeah.
You can showcase one of the comics.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
He's talking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So yeah. So
Kartik Lalit is producing the show from the behind.
yeah. So
Yeah, so he wants to he wants you to hold up that comic and show it to the people.
Shove it right in his face.
Yeah,
In and all over his face.
yeah. Look. There it is, the divine art of comicry.
So yeah. So basically, this is
Ishwar, Ishwar.
so basically this is the product of our DCKS group in a way. Like when we thought, okay, fine. We should have those stories which we always wanted to write, and make out. It should be out there. It should be for people to read and see and discuss. So we sort of decided that we'll make this small zine. It's called Inclab, and so in this particular zine, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a lot of different stories together, because each artist and cartoonist or comic creator, whatever, has her own experiences and stories which he wants to share. But there's not a single platform where you can showcase your small comics and
Okay.
stuff like that. So we decided to compile it into a book format and like a zine. So this is the issue 1, and we are working on volume 2 of it. So yeah, so it'll be released. I
Yeah,
think,
even
by the next
I
Comic
think all comic makers do that, right? All comic.
Yeah.
They may have a compilation kind of a thing. Yeah, I've
So
read
it's-
those.
Yeah.
Like Marvel, I've read those. It has multiple comics.
But that's so also most importantly, it's also to show that comics is much beyond superheroes.
Yes.
It's not only you don't have like okay there'll be good guy, bad guy, good guy kills bad guy, ha, everybody's happy. No, there are more. There's always more to life than that, right? There are more layers of life, which you should discuss, and also comics in our country especially people have this belief that comics is only about either it should be funny or either it's about superheroes.
Yeah, it's either Superman or it's Archie's.
Yeah.
Archie's
all of
suck.
that.
Sorry.
So
No, they do suck. To some extent, they do.
yeah, of course.
So because the thing is popular doesn't mean it's good.
It's not funny. It's not funny, and the
Yeah,
art
it's
hasn't
not.
changed since 1940s.
Yeah.
They still got those diners which do not
Yeah,
exist, and it's
exactly.
really weird.
It's weird, yeah.
It's like a
also
dystopian
it's
piece.
It's World War times ki sari cheezein na.
I
They
think
used to make these
the
comics for
reason,
soldiers, na.
like people
Yeah.
don't see like that sort of logic in it is because it's just those fun times where you were in school.
Fuck
and
Jughead.
just-
Fuck Jughead.
Not as much as Archie.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you guys, there is. I've taken a look inside that zine,
Yeah.
and on the other hand, you guys are doing a lot of dark stuff. You guys are doing a lot of complex stuff.
Yeah.
And so, where do you get your inspirations from?
From life mostly, because of course you need to see for an artist it's very important to observe things, right, in general. So whatever you watch or you listen to or you see around you influences whatever you are making, right? So I personally get most of my inspiration from regular stuff that is happening around me. People kill each other in this country for 500 rupees or randomly, like stuff like that.
I think
Anything.
it's more than 500 rupees.
Whatever. That's small an amount. That's what I'm saying. That's small an amount or whatever. So, whatever. I go out. Okay, for example, I'm working on some digital art for the whole day. In the evening, I go out to have momos in the corner. There'll be stuff of like bunch of guys will be talking about, यार तेरी photo Facebook को like नहीं करी उस लड़की ने. So you get to see what is happening actually. I'm in my own world, zoned out and making those illustrations about wow, so nice. This यार CMY के match नहीं हो रहा यार, Magenta क्यों नहीं आ रहा ये? I'm stuck in that, and people are actually doing whatever shit. So it's very important.
And I remembered the new Docomo ad where it's like, ये देखिए सुशील लड़की इसके Facebook likes नहीं है. And then one guy comes with just thumb up. I was like that ad.
Hey, so तो वैसे सब होता है तो you observe ना कि while people are dying somewhere, these fuckers are more interested in उसके Facebook पे कितने likes हैं, ठीक है? What so these stories, regular people, okay, what are their problems? Or for example, if he's not bothered about that, what he's bothered about? There's a रिक्शा वाला जो अपनी रिक्शा चलाने के लिए पूरे दिन मेहनत करता है, घर जाके सो जाता है, है ना? वो उसको क्या अपील करेगा, उसको क्या समझ में आएगा, और क्या मैं उस तक पहुंच सकता हूँ या तो नहीं भी पहुंच सकता, पता नहीं, जो भी है. तो उनकी कहानियाँ उनके साथ उनसे बात करके या जो भी है, तो there life in general, you go out, you see people, you meet people, you get influenced, and you think about them, and then you make something out of it. So mostly that, yeah.
Veerat, anything to add to that?
Let's see. Like, yeah, it's mostly on those terms. You see different things like art to some way imitates life, but then there's that factor of how you interpret
Yeah.
the universe and life around you as
Yeah.
well. Like, because each individual, I think, is in his own sphere of, say, a universe of his own.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's mostly about, like, broadening that, and then whatever comes out of that is basically that person's interpretation of it.
So, like, is it the same thing? Like, are drawing comics and drawing, am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Do you draw comics?
Yeah, drawing comics.
Okay. And painting, this similar?
Yeah, actually. So what? So
To some extent, yes, but it's a completely different medium.
at the same time,
Yeah.
because
Because the
they
aesthetics in a
serve.
painting and an aesthetic in a comic changes. Like,
Yeah.
painting, say you're making a painting and it's about like some concept or something.
Mm-hmm.
You have to add all that concept in one image,
Okay.
and that entire painting, to me, like I do those type of paintings, so it has to comprise all of that.
Yeah.
But in a comic, you have to space it out,
You have to split each frame, you know,
and
of
each frame has to be a aesthetically appealing frame in itself,
Mm-hmm.
but it has to
add to the whole structure of the story. So it's like that. That's the basic difference. That's what I was about to say. So, you know, in a painting, you have to show a complete picture in that single frame,
Mm-hmm.
right? But in comics, you have the liberty, or maybe, you know, it's more complex sometimes, but
the concept has to be more spread
yeah,
out.
so it's basically, okay, one action at a time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, hence this. So it's like that. So split out. So in a way, comics is, you know, visual art,
Okay.
which is in a series. You know, so if I make like 5 paintings, which connect. You know,
Mhm.
for example, the second painting is the continuation of the first painting, so it's a comics,
Okay.
right?
Mm.
So in
I see.
broader terms.
So,
So sorry, yeah.
yeah, what I'm wondering is it more complicated? Is making comics more complicated or painting more complicated?
I would say to some extent it's comics, but it depends on the type of painting you're making.
Yeah.
Like if you see some of the old masters' works, they are very heavy in concept.
When you say old masters, who do you mean exactly?
I mean
Van Gogh.
Raphaelites and Leonardo and all those.
Okay,
the-
Da Vinci.
Yeah, those they're very
Van Gogh,
complex.
like you were saying,
Caravaggio
Van Gogh.
and all of that.
Yeah,
Very,
Rembrandt.
Like the amount they're
Rembrandt.
putting in is very distinct.
Yeah.
But I would say comics because you're trying to spread that out. And
And you
a
have to
good
go.
comic is always
Yeah.
defined by how relevant one panel is to the other.
Yeah.
But then, explain something to me.
And that
Like
is
Frank
very
Miller, like Watchmen, the comic. Like I have it. I find it almost equivalent to, say, some of David Cho's work. Have you heard of David Cho?
David.
No.
He's a
I think so.
yeah. He's a painter. He's a mural
Uh-huh,
artist.
okay.
He drew Facebook's what do you call headquarters. You know, he
Okay,
painted.
okay,
Like
yeah.
he did a mural kind of a thing,
Okay.
and he's very
Hmm.
famous.
Well, the place where Frank Miller is concerned, he is a very good designer.
Mm-hmm.
And his paneling is actually very good. But his art fails in the art department part.
What do you mean by that?
Like a lot of his designing of the frames are very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the point. Like in comics, there are 3 types of aesthetics that are important. One is how the paneling is relevant, and he does the designing of that very well.
Okay.
But where it comes to designing his, like the image that he's designing,
The characters, you mean?
characters and the image to some extent.
The
itself.
characters, perhaps the
Composition.
dumpsters.
Composition of
Composition
the image,
entirely, yeah.
That he falls short on that. But his designing of the entire page is very nice.
Okay.
That's why you see a big gap in, say, that's why you see a big gap in The Dark Knight Returns
Mm-hmm.
and Year One, because Year One is done by Mazzucchelli,
Mm-hmm.
and you just see a big difference in the designing aspect of it.
Okay. I haven't.
The
I
art
haven't seen
part
the
in Year
Year
One
One.
is way better than
Mhm.
Dark Knight, but Dark Knight has like really good panel designing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice, but that's where he excels.
Okay. So.
But yeah, I get your point. Like, yes. And to some extent, I want that kind of thinking to be a more popular belief. Like, it's not just, oh, you know, he made a comic. Yes, it is equivalent to, say, like some comics are equivalent to master works.
Yes.
If you see Mobius Inkal or his Long Tomorrow, Mobius is 10,000 Days in the Desert.
I have
I think
no idea.
you have no idea, but you know of Mobius, right?
No, actually, I don't.
Go see Inkal.
Spell
Inkal.
that.
Mobius, the Inkal.
The Inkal.
The Inkal.
Okay. All right. I haven't checked that out. I'm a huge fan of Age of Apocalypse from Marvel.
Oh,
I
really?
love that whole thing. It just like that sucks you in.
Mhm.
So again, Watchmen sucked me in. Perhaps it's some of the story, but mostly it was like
No, Watchmen is actually a masterpiece.
Yeah.
In a way, that is like where Alan Moore was going with it
Yeah.
is like, wow.
yeah.
And people say the movie is good, but once you see like the love he's put into the book,
Yeah.
you're like, yes, this is a masterpiece, and that's how like it is equivalent to masterpiece paintings and it is an art form.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. Now we got to talk about the other one, the Skull. What is it? Skull Stories.
Yeah. So that's so it's one of the product of our 24-hour comic sessions, and when we started up, okay, so we had this first 24-hour comic session. So what we do was like we sit in a room for 24 hours, and we have to finish 22 pages of comic in 24 hours. So that's the challenge, okay? So I was there, and I had this sketchbook with me, and only oil pastels. So everybody was making comics, but I wasn't really sure what should I make. So I started making these illustrations, okay? These huge I think I had an A2 size drawing sheet. So I was making these illustrations, and I just continued, So I made, I think, around 13, 14 paintings in one night. And later on, I finished them. I made like around 20. And these friends of mine, they wanted to, they were like, okay, this art is very interesting. Like, why not try writing story based on the artwork?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how this whole, Ulta Soch thing started. So we decided that, we'll do this. We'll, do the reverse. Like what you usually do is like you write a script, and based on the script, you make a movie or make a comics or no. So story is written first, then comes the visual. So what we decided, so we'll make visual first, and it's writer's job to construct a narrative based on the visual.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the tough part, right? And that's where the experimentation bit comes, So it's this whole project is like an experimentation in visual storytelling. Plus, it's a language experiment, because what we are trying to do is we are trying to put different languages on a same page. Like, in this book, the first book, Skull Stories. So I made this, all set of illustrations, a whole series. Then this friend of mine, Sumit Ray, he writes about comics, and so he wrote this whole story in English based on what he,
Yeah.
understood, or what he
Understood
thinks,
from the
like,
picture.
from the illustration. And then this friend of mine, Adiraj, wrote in Hindi based on the same picture. And it's another friend of mine, Akshat, wrote in Russian. So you see 3 different languages,
Three different point of views.
3 different point of views, 3 different stories on the same page.
Mhm.
And there's another fourth point of view, which is your own,
Yeah.
what you derive from that image.
Yeah.
So this whole book is an experimentation. Like this whole book is experiment, and it makes you think. It makes you realize, okay, wow, it's like how the story is built up and how the illustrations work with the story.
That's
So,
pretty cool, man. I checked that out. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where can people get that?
So earlier when we started, because of course it was a self-published thing, so we got a few copies printed. All right. So we had, I think, around 15, 20 copies only.
Mhm.
And we sold a lot at all of them, I think, at the Comic-Con last year. And we, we just ask people, if you want to get a copy, we'll just get it printed, and it's print on demand. So
Okay.
whenever you want, you can just get it printed and give it to you. So it's
So,
like that. But what we're planning to do with it right now is we're working on more stories and more. I have made these 2 new illustrations, two new set of a series of illustrations, and Veerat has done another series for that. And there are other writers which we are collaborating with. There's one writer who writes in Spanish, so there'll be 4 different languages on the same page.
Wow.
And so plan to release, I think, around 10, 12 books with different illustrations and stories. So yeah, so that's what we are planning to do, and it'll be up online, so to read. And yeah,
It's going to be up online to read.
yeah, we also plan to start this website,
Oh.
wherein we'll put all of these experimental stuff which we make.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
yeah, it'll be called ultasoch, .com. So
Or .net or whatever you
whatever.
get.
No, dot com. So we are we actually
You've got
construct.
the domain
Yeah,
name.
yeah. So
Oh,
we
that's
are
great.
constructing the site. So if you
Yeah.
go there, if you go to ultasource.com, you'll see
Under construction.
under construction and stuff. It'll lead to the Facebook page, but now we are building the website parallelly. So
All right.
all the books will be there online to read. So you can read and see, or maybe like it's open for collaboration. So if somebody wants to write a story based on my work, they can do that. They're free to
Yeah,
do
man. That's pretty cool.
that. Yeah.
So where does one get your the zine?
The zine, the zine is also with us, and we are planning to. It'll be available in the Comic Con next year.
Okay.
The upcoming Comic Con. Plus, yeah, if you want to get it, like just message me or whatever. I'll courier it to you.
Not to me. I'll get it from you.
Yeah, but the other, like anybody, yeah. So plus, we have a Facebook page in Club. So on the Facebook page, you can just message, that you want a copy. So we'll send it
The
to you.
Chulma page or which
No.
one?
There's another page. It's called In Club.
In Club.
Yeah.
Okay.
The In Club zine, So.
In
on-
Club.
In Club, yeah.
Yeah. That's INKLAB.
Yeah, In Club. So, yeah, you can just message. We'll send it over.
All right. Cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
What do you charge for it?
It's very cheap. It's only for $100. So.
Oh, that's cheap, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Go buy it.
So yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Plus, we are also planning to release the next issue of it pretty soon. Also, I'm working on these mini comics, like small 5-pager, 10-pager comics, and sell it for even cheaper. I think $20, $30.
I guess so. And the more you print,
The more hard depends, yeah.
then that's how it works. Whatever. Okay.
Because
You-
comics are usually costly. Like comics are costly affair.
Yeah. You know how much I paid for the Watchmen comic?
I don't know, like $1,300. I don't know, 1,000. No.
No, two.
Oh.
2,000.
Oh wow, awesome.
Really?
Yeah. Crosswords, man.
Yeah, I think you can get cheaper online, no? I think it's 1,300 on Amazon. I don't know.
Yeah,
13K, I guess.
No,
Yeah.
I got
Anyway,
this.
जो
Like,
भी है,
Or
it's
did
okay.
you get
It's
like
okay.
the hard copy or something?
yeah, I got this like about 2 years back.
हाँ, हो सकता
Oh
है.
yeah, then
Then yeah.
Yeah, man. Like,
Anyway, so
So-
yeah.
anyways, it was really expensive at that
reprinting
time.
and all that.
Comics are expensive, because it takes good quality paper and all of that. But anyway, story matters.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons you can't get them published anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get because
So-
you need the paper, you need the right
Ah.
color tone and everything.
Everything, but because it's piece of art, right? The whole book is an art piece, so you cannot compromise on color and design and all of that.
Yeah,
But
the famous Hulk story, he used to be purple
yeah.
because they couldn't find the right color of green and it
Yeah.
didn't come out.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry.
yeah, so like it must be really hard for you guys to get the right kind of color.
Yeah,
and
all of that. But then so that's why So what we try to do is we try to limit our art to most probably monotonous. It
Okay.
can be monotone. Mostly like for Inclab we do black and white because that's we can get it printed on cheap. It's cheaper. But also it's very interesting for the artist because then he has to limit his art form into crisp black and white.
Yeah.
Right. And the story is more important. Story is the centerpiece. Story is the spine of the comics, right? And then you can play around with, the visuals and other things. So yeah, if you have to do a good, good printing, good quality color book, you can do that also. You can do a black and white also. So there should be a flexibility there.
You can always later fill it in.
Yeah, I mean, like you can later on, if you want to rework on it, you can rework and create a better version of it or whatever. Yeah.
So, like, do you draw these comics on the computer or do you do it on paper?
I mostly draw hand drawn with paper, on paper, and then scan it and use it. For Inclab, I've been doing the same. I use the ink, the watercolor based rotring ink, which you get. So using that ink, I mostly draw it with my hand. And then I scan it, and then I use it. Do some digital manipulation, like colors and all of that. Or that also. I also do completely digital work also. Depends on the kind of work is it. Depends on the kind of story it is. So the style and everything depends on what and how you want to represent. How you want the views, the reader to understand the story.
Does it matter that much? Like
Yeah,
on
it does.
paper?
It does.
It
It does.
It does.
What about you? You do it also on paper?
I also do it traditional, like I do it pencil on paper, paint on paper. But I know people who do it
Digitally?
digitally because painting is a pain in the ass, and
Yeah.
it's not very lucrative to
Mhm.
do an entire comic
Yeah.
traditionally painted or whatever, because digital is costing nothing to get the thing done.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
you won't use the supplies and everything.
Mhm.
I know, like I'm doing some, like there's one I'm doing called Docs.
Okay.
AUX. That is being done traditionally, completely.
I see.
Yeah.
So, like you said, there is a difference. Like when you do digitally, like you said there was a difference. So how you want the viewer to perceive it.
Huh.
What is that difference?
See, it depends on the script.
Okay.
All right. And what and how, what the story demands in a way, Like, if I want to show an
Yep.
intergalactic warfare,
Okay.
it'll look better in color,
Yeah.
right? If I want to show a regular guy who's walking on a street, it'll look good in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a night scene, I would use black and white there.
I
If
see.
it's a day scene, I would like to use color and bright and sunny.
Mm-hmm.
If the story is about two kids who are playing around in the sun and la 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 ha ha ha, so I'll use color.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll use the style will be different, right? If the story is like of a guy who's going to kill somebody, so I'll have those dark shades and tones and mostly black and white and stuff. So that's what I'm like I was talking about. So the reader will automatically get, right? Okay, like unlike in a novel, right? Like in a regular
Yeah.
story, you have to tell the reader everything. Okay?
Yeah, you have to
This
detail
was
him.
the scene, this is the time, this is this and that. But in comics, you have to show everything in one single visual, right? So the reader will get, okay, this is the scene, this is what is happening,
Mhm.
and then text is addition to the whole thing.
How do you conceptualize a comic?
It depends, It can be random. It can be a thoroughly thought out process. Yeah. So like I personally, when I start doing it, like I write.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, fine. This is the basic structure. This is the summary of thing. Okay, this and that. Then I'll think of the backgrounds and how my characters are placed. What is the setting? Okay, is it a night scene where he's going to take a metro and go somewhere to meet somebody,
Mm-hmm.
or what is this character doing? And that environment will depend upon the kind of character he is, and then what he is doing, right? So that first, then comes the character building, and you build your character. Okay, this is this guy. He is a psychopath, or he is a regular guy who is going to eat momos in the street.
Okay.
Or what kind of character he is, right? So then you build a character, and then you place the environment and the character together, and then you create a structure. Okay, fine. This is my structure with which I'm going to work, and then the character will automatically, engage, and there'll be other characters, whatever. So
Yeah,
that's how.
No,
You
what I'm
structure
asking,
the-
what am I asking? Like, is like when I write a character, when I write a character, I don't have to show him. I don't have to.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you with every scene how his folds of the clothes are working or if his nose is broken. I don't have to show that. So when you have to show that, how do you conceptualize a character who would fit the best in the comic? Because you've been able to do it. I've seen it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is it?
So, it's basically, see, it depends on the initial thought that you had when you started making the thing, right? So, okay, fine. If I have a story in mind, okay, about this guy, like this in Clap Story, like this guy who's like really pissed off with his wife, and he wants to just wants her to just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly,
Right?
I
So
saw that.
he's like really pissed. So his face should show that he's pissed, and he's a regular guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Goes to office, he comes back, he's just watching some Kapil Sharma show on TV or something, right?
Yeah.
And he's just pissed, like let me fucking watch a stupid comedy show, man. Just shut the fuck up. So he's pissed. So that should show in his face, and the whole setting, it's dark and gloomy, right? Because he's watching a Kapil Sharma show or whatever he's watching, but in his mind he's somewhere else. Right?
Yeah.
So that should show in the surroundings and in the way he behaves.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's how I think about the whole character.
He's gone to his happy place.
Yeah.
Oh, meadows and cream and
Yeah, man.
corn.
Yeah, away from the wife. Away from the
Uh.
man. You're not married, are you?
No.
I am, I know.
Oh, you'll identify with it.
Ah,
I have it good. I have it good.
Yeah.
My wife does not live here. She lives in Dubai.
good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she keeps coming out back and forth.
Yeah.
Next week, I won't be that happy.
Okay.
Too much.
For a successful relationship. Don't live
I'll
together.
I'll make sure you sune.
She doesn't listen to any one of these somehow.
Oh.
I don't
Sad.
know. I was like, the first time I was like, I'm gonna say fuck. I'm gonna do a lot of stupid shit on this. What if she listens to it? She was like, I listen to one of them. I don't want to listen to more.
Okay.
It's like, I know the deal. Yeah, my bad.
No, you have to listen to me. I don't have to listen to you.
Oh, it's
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, man. So, Virat, when you paint, when you paint and when you draw comics, is there any different preparations which go into it?
Oh, so many different preparations. Because the aesthetics in a painting, like I said before, and the aesthetics in a comic are different in a way. Like, I can just make a good painting out of just one panel. I mean, you could, but then it doesn't make sense. Like I said, you have to.
What do you
stretch it
mean
out.
when you say painting out of one panel? What do you mean? Explain.
A painting is one image.
Yes.
A comic is 100,
Yes.
depending on the.
So
type
you
of
want to
comic you're
combine
doing.
those 100 images into one painting? Is that so?
No, a comic is trying to stretch the entire concept of that one image in a painting to, say, a 20-page comic.
Okay.
So you're trying to dissect every form of that painting, let's say.
That's one way of putting it. I think the other way would be painting is actually a section. You know, it's like that moment,
Yeah.
right, in the whole story.
Yeah. It's like a pic.
So yeah. So a painting can also
but
be.
that is what I'm saying. If it's a concept-heavy painting, then that comes into place.
Yeah, so depends on the painting, depends on a lot of things, you know. So the whole treatment is different when you start
Yeah.
making a comics or you start making a painting. You know, the whole treatment is different. You have to think in a different way when you are doing
Like,
it. You know.
It even goes down to like, why am I putting this text in?
Okay.
How
Yeah.
is this relevant
Yeah.
to this scene? The text becomes a piece in the composition. The way you make a panel becomes a piece in the composition.
I
So
see.
it's way more hectic on the brain. It turns into like this thing where you have to tune your brain so it does half the things automatic.
Okay.
So,
Okay, fine. This is
for people who
like,
are
yeah.
trying to get initially into it, it's hard work.
I see.
you know.
Like,
so
me, I've
like
just
after
started
after some
comics.
time, yeah.
So it was a very slow process for me initially. It's getting better now because some of the things I just auto track on them.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you must get into that meditative zone and just
yeah,
go
you
through it.
need to get into that meditative zone because if you're in a conscious zone,
You can't.
then Einstein's relativity
Gets-
theory comes up and you're just stuck in that moment.
Yeah.
That 1 minute seems like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah, man.
You're like, my brain is melting.
It's already down. Yeah. It's coming out through my nose.
Yeah.
So like, you know, like he was saying, right? When you actually start making a comics, you know, so it's actually a very tiring, you know, thing, you know, because it takes labor, right?
Yeah.
It takes effort. Okay,
Yeah.
I have to draw this panel. I have to repeat a character for like n number of times, right? So you know, it comes by practice, and when you draw more and more, so your brain will automatically get into that mode of, okay, this is where my text is gonna be. So I have to leave this space here. I have to create a composition where this is the area for the text bubble to come.
Yeah.
Right, stuff like that, these basic things. So your brain automatically tunes itself to that, and then, you know, when you start making anything, though, you'll keep that in mind. Okay, this is how it's going to be because I'm going to put text there, and or I don't have to put text, or how I can avoid putting text there and still explain what is going on. Stuff like that.
Okay. So you consciously decide when to put text, when not to put text.
Yeah, like
So
you have to,
Initially, it has to be like that. That's why, like, my mistake was, okay, I'll say, if you're ever starting a comic, make like the first 20 comics just bullshit comics. Like, I just want to make bullshit in this comic. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't need to have a plot. My problem was I started with a heavy concept, and that just made me go, okay, I have to leave this for a while.
Yeah.
But what you should actually do is just make like 20, 30 bullshit comics. Just, you need that sort of practice time to get that out of your system. Like that initial, like you have to think, you can't, when that conscious thing is there, like I'm consciously making a comic, that should not be there when you're doing a heavy concept comic, because these things should be auto tracking things. Like this composition goes here, that composition goes here. So that's why you need to make like 20, 30 bullshit comics.
So you basically
just
get
to get that out of your
practice
system.
out and your hands smooth and your mind right.
Never make heavy concepts on your first try.
Yeah.
Just make like
Random
haha,
stuff. Yeah.
haha, some joke. Haha.
Yeah.
Random things. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that day we like sort of just like doing random bakchodi, and then so we wrote a story of this. It's called Bomb Bitch.
Bomb
Yeah,
bitch.
bomb
Bomb bitch. So it's about a bitch जो bomb खाती है.
Huh?
Like literally a bitch.
Literally a bitch. So the whole setting is like there's a.
Which breed?
That
We're thinking
We're thinking
Alsatian,
like
right?
Alsatian, yeah.
Alsatian.
So
I've got Alsatians.
so
There are
yeah.
some bitches.
I got a bitch all the time. Her name is Jeannie. Jeannie, you bitch. It always goes back.
Yeah.
Like a human.
So we like constructing this random story about this bitch, like eat bomb, like bomb फटने वाला है, bitch को बुलाओ, bitch bomb खाएगी, ठीक है? Like dogs smell the bomb, right? So
Yeah.
वो खा जाती है, ठीक है? वो smell नहीं करती, वो खा
The bomb
जाती
is
है. So,
diffused.
yeah.
Like magic.
Yeah. He wants his
So-
bag. She can't get it. Supply him his bag.
Cause magic.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
so Virat, where can people get your art?
Right now, nowhere, because
They can get it on the Ink Lab, right?
they
Yeah.
can get it on Ink, the next volume of Ink Lab.
Plus, it will be there in the new books that we are releasing with Ulta
the new
Soch.
Skull Stories
The
will
new-
also have like prints for
Mhm.
the art,
Plus
and you
the.
can get my art there also.
All right. Are you on Twitter?
I'm not on Twitter. I'm only on Facebook right now.
How do people get you? Come on,
Yeah,
put
man.
you
on Facebook.
put yourself on Twitter, man. That's the best thing.
Yeah.
Is like you don't have to be friends.
Yeah.
People just follow you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
I've just started also.
Yeah.
Like otherwise.
I was thinking Tumblr because it's more of an art basis.
Yeah,
than
it's
Tumblr.
more visual. Yes, I like that.
So yeah.
What's going on?
This is kind of done, so I needed the charger.
It's okay. We anyways winding up. Right.
So yeah, like so all of this about comics. So that's what we do. Yeah.
Where can they get your stuff, Shikhant?
My work, yeah. So I do a lot of different random like I'm experimenting with a lot of different media. Okay.
You also
So-
on the Suspended Art Festival, right?
Yeah. That's one place where my works are displayed right now.
Yeah.
It's like a month-long thing. It'll be on weekends. So most of the illustrations, those politicians, plus animal, that Metamorphosis series.
Mhm.
So that's there, and it's on Churma. If you search on Facebook, the Churma, facebook.com/the Churma,
The
so-
churma, like spelled churma, like
CHOORMA.
exactly. They were going
So yeah.
most probably.
So there, so that space I have defined for all the graphic, fun bakchodi work which I do,
Yeah.
and then I also make these small GIFs, GIFs,
Yeah.
those animations, small animations. That's available on Tumblr, and it's called gifcrazy.tumblr.com. So that's there, and I'm also sort of started. We like me and Adiraj, so we have started making this comics called Loda Lesson. Yeah, so it's also
So
on
if you want to
Tumblr.
lessen your loras, Go to Loda Lesson.
So yeah, that's
That
called.
stinks.
Yeah.
So that's Loda Lesson on Tumblr is another place where I put my comics and.
I
random
wonder
stuff.
what it is about.
It's about there are two detectives. One is Loda and another is Lassan.
No, why didn't?
And they also look like, of course, and then they are trying to solve cases in Mumbai. The whole setting is very interesting. There's this Inspector Gandkhare. There's a lot of different characters, So it's really interesting.
Where is this, please? I gotta check this
It's-
out.
Yeah, you should check out. It's on Tumblr. It's called lodalassan.tumblr.com.
Man, you should check out Padupanti too.
What is that?
Pudupanti. Pudupanti is like random stuff me and Veerat do.
Yeah, so
We
man, we should explain where we started Padupanti.
yeah, we were in this gig, there's this some random people were playing in that Turkish cottage it was, I think. Yeah, I think, yeah.
I think Hard Rock Cafe.
No, I don't know. No, it was 100% rock or something. I don't know.
Wait, whatever.
Whatever.
You were getting drunk. Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting, we were getting drunk,
I was like,
drinking coke.
you got a pen?
Yeah. So we were scribbling on newspapers, and then we just realized that we can make a whole series out of it. So we made this whole cartoon comics thing with a lot of dicks and vaginas on newspaper. So
Doesn't always the good stuff starts with dicks and vaginas?
yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
All great jokes start with dicks and
Dicks
The
and
vaginas.
world
vaginas,
starts with dicks
The
and
world, the whole
vaginas.
universe.
Binary code starts with
Shiva
dicks and
Lingam.
vaginas. Have you seen? It's all ones and zeros, guys.
Yeah.
What do you think that means?
It's all DNA, man.
Banana terracotta pie.
Yeah.
Anything else to plug, guys?
That's it mostly. So you should check out my work.
Don't
and
you guys
stuff
have your own site? Like, do you have your own site?
I mostly put stuff on Facebook. Like Churma is my page where I put most of the stuff, and my
here.
blog and Tumblr blog and all of
Yeah.
that. So that's where I put most of. But yeah, I'm sort of trying to compile everything and sort of have a single place where people can see all of it together, because I've been working differently. Like I have paintings, then I have comics, then I have these small animations, then I have these graphic work. So I want to put everything in one particular place. So maybe in some time I'll make a website or whatever and put it there.
Are you on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. Shikhant.
Shikhant.
Yeah, Shikhant.
Just simple.
Yeah, simple. Shikhant.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Shikhant. Yeah, and that's as simple as it gets, man.
Yup.
Look at my brother. He's at Rasin Shrukin.
Yeah, wow. Good luck with that.
Yeah, man. I'm like, it doesn't work it.
I know what that means, but
Is-
Yeah,
like,
Naruto, man.
yeah,
Like, come
I
on.
know, but like so
Like-
long.
Yeah, man.
Does it get him chicks or something?
No, man.
There are some fangirls.
No, that
out
sounded
there.
more like Arabic, man.
Yeah, that will.
No,
Whatever,
whatever, man. Not
Yeah.
working.
And you're thinking, Nandeste.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
All right, guys. Let's say bye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was fun.
So bye,
Unreal.
guys.
Yeah. Bye,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye.
Well, you got that.